Hey y'all. So, I asked myself, why do I keep reflecting back to the past and thinking about her, the one who had me? And then I realized we realize a lot of things on a subconscious level. Your subconscious knows. Okay. Her birthday's in a few months. So, yeah. So there were two major things that happened while I was, you know, either living with her or I think I was still living there. Yeah, I was. Now that I think about it. Actually, there were a couple things. One was where I almost hurt or worse this girl because I know I told y'all about this because she decided, I really want to pick a fight. We were teenagers. I really want to pick a fight. So I'm gonna pick a fight with you. As much anger as I had built up in me, I'm not really a good candidate for that because when I come for you, there will be no rules. Okay. So anyway, like I said, those of you that have followed me for a long time, if I'm looking off, I'm looking outside. I was minding my business and she was trying to start with me and I told her, don't. And she got in my face. I think she shoved me because that's when I would lose my mind. When you put your hands on me, I lose my mind. She shoved me and I chased her through the building, chased her through the not the aquarium, the gymnasium. And I busted through the door. I busted it open so hard, I don't know how I didn't break the glass in the window. And somehow I was on top of her and I picked up a beer bottle and I raised it real high and I was going to whop her right in her skull, face, whatever, I don't care, as hard as I could. And that's when I heard an authoritative voice in my head say, "Don't." And it's the sound of authority that you don't question. You don't go, "Who are you talking to?" You know that's the voice of a higher power. So for people who say God's not real and this and that, he's talked to you too, but you don't listen. Something bigger than you has had to have created you. You didn't just pop out of space. Okay? You were created somehow. So it's got to be something bigger and more powerful than you that created you. Even in science only, just science, no religion, science only, you don't have anything spontaneously happen unless there are things that led up to that and it caused that result. Anyway, so once I heard that authoritative voice, one word, "don't," I knew, because I was going to try to kill that girl. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. You want some? I'm going to give you something and you ain't going to like it. Of course, I wouldn't like it either because I would have been in jail. Or no, I would have been in domestic, I can't talk. Thank you, fibromyalgia. I would have been in juvenile detention and then I would have been transferred to the big house. I never told her about that because I would have got in trouble for that. Even though she had said, if I find out somebody put their hands on you and you didn't do nothing about it, I'm going to beat your ass. So if you do go after somebody for doing that, you're going to get in trouble. And if you don't, you're going to get in trouble. So I'm going to try to take your ass out of here because I'm going to get it either way. I'm going to make it worth my while. But God intervened, and otherwise I was heading to juvenile detention, juvie. And then the next thing that happened was my car accident. That messed me up permanently. I didn't know it at the time, but boy, did I find out. I have stenosis from my neck all the way down to the top of my pelvis. Stenosis. So it's basically where, let's just say, if you imagine an accordion, right? The musical instrument, an accordion, you open it and close it in order to make the sound, to play it. So everybody is vertebrae who has a normal back is like this. Spaces, spaces in between, fairly wide spaces in between the vertebrae. That's not my back at all. My back and my neck has stenosis, so my space is squeezed and there's little teeny spaces in between my vertebrae. So I have chronic back pain all the time. Anyway, I never told her about the accident because I would have been berated for that. You're an idiot. Nobody has an accident unless they're a freaking idiot. And she would have just ran her fat mouth for probably an hour or longer. There would never have been, where are you at right now? Well, I'm in the ER with my best friend. What hospital are you at? I'll be there. That's a normal reaction. Okay? An abnormal reaction is berating and belittling the person for having an accident. And fresh snow, I was driving on fresh snow, which is just like melted butter. It is, right? So, I didn't tell her about the accident. That was life-changing, life-altering. I had insurance with my job at the time, but I would have been better off having Mickey Mouse as a doctor. I'm not kidding, I'm serious. Mickey Mouse would have did a better job. Since I used to work in the medical field, when I look back at how asinine they were with my accident, they didn't take it seriously when I went to the doctor. First of all, I used to dance, right? So I was going down in a straddle, which is like a split, but instead of going that way, you go this way and you go down that way. And I never should have did that. I was in my 20s. I don't know what I'm doing. I never should have did that after an accident. I should have at least had a couple of days bed rest because my body just went through a major shock. And I went to work after I left the hospital. I went home, took a shower, put my uniform on, and went to work. And my coworker said, I'll never forget this. I will never forget this. He said, what are you doing here? I'm on the schedule? Right. But you had a real bad car accident yesterday. Why are you here? And then he looked at me. I guess he looked at my hands and he goes, you're shaking. I said, no, I'm not. He said, yes, you are. Like tone of voice, don't tell me. And then I realized that I had been shaking for 8 hours, my entire shift at work. My body was shaking. I mean, my whole body was just trembling. I didn't have the support at home where I would have been allowed to rest for a couple of days with no aggravation from my evil ass brother. Not the good one, the evil one. He would have aggravated the holy hell out of me. I would have been better off going to work, right? She don't crack rules with his dumb ass. So he did what he wanted when he wanted, and she allowed that because she's an idiot. I found out many years later that my aunt from Trinidad told me that one day he whipped her ass and knocked some of her teeth out. Good for you. Good for you, because you don't know how to raise children. Anybody could lay down and get pregnant. Anybody could do that. That don't require no brain power. But you had this little bastard, and then you didn't give him any rules and regulations. That's going against the grain. You're asking for problems. You're going to goddamn get them. I don't feel sorry for her. She's a dumbass. Anyway, he was my worst nightmare too. Yeah. So I didn't tell her about the accident. Because I would have been chewed for that. And even prior to the accident, let's go back a few years prior to the accident. I was part of a drill team. And we did dance routines and all of that. I didn't like it, and I quit fairly early because it's very militant. I don't like that. Okay, that's not my cup of tea. So I eventually quit. But one day we were rehearsing, and we're doing formations and all this other. And I went into the restroom. And give me a second. I was in a restroom and somebody was standing on the toilet next to the stall I was in watching me. I guess watching somebody take a leak is fascinating or something. I don't know. But anyway, I came out. He's a grown-ass man. And he was holding me against the wall. Like, say this is him. I'm him against the wall. I came out of the stall, and he somehow was holding me with my back to him. And I could tell he's trying to figure out what to do with me. And eventually he let me go. That must be grace of God, because, you know, that must have been early in his sexual assault career. You know, where they're learning what to do, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a practice. You need some practice victims. I never told her about that. Why would I? Because a healthy response would be, oh my God, tell me more. What happened? What did he look like? Did you tell your instructor? You know, the person who was teaching us our formations and whatnot. Did you tell anybody? What did he look like? What was he wearing? We're calling the police. Are you okay? Did he manage to do anything with you, or was he just did he just grab you? We're calling the police right now. We're gonna let Bridgeport Boys and Girls Club, because that's where it happened. We're gonna let them know what happened, and we're filing a police report. Are you sure you're okay? Come here. Are you sure you're okay? That must have been scary. Come here. Come here. Come here. That's what a loving parent would do, not a gargoyle. Quit laughing, it's not funny. She's a gargoyle, for real. For real, for real. So, I knew, never, ever, 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 and I was almost attacked in high school. He wanted to sexually assault me. He yanked me down the stairs. I told you guys this. Yanked me downstairs into the basement or tried to get me into the basement of the school so that he could have his fun with me. And I never told her that either. So, as I said before in other videos, I'm a child and I have to deal with grown-up situations by myself. Because with the guy that was watching me in the bathroom and decided to grab me, her response would have been, ain't no man gonna do something like that to you. Ain't no man gonna do nothing like that to you. You seduced him. You're a little whore. You seduced him. You made eye contact with him. You were probably touching him on grown-up parts of his body. That's why he did that. Ain't no man gonna come out of nowhere and assault somebody. You were trying to seduce him. That's what a sick bitch would say. Okay? A sick, twisted, narcissistic psychopath. That's what they would say. So get ready. I would be the perfect victim for a criminal. And these guys are criminal because this is what they do. What they did is illegal. You cannot go grabbing people. I was a criminal's dream. I could do what I want to her. I could show her where I live. I could give her my phone number, and I could even write down my description in case she forgets what I look like. Ain't nothing gonna happen because her parents are going to blame her. I'm in the clear. I can do what the hell I want to do. If I want to get her every day, I can. I know where she goes to school. I know where this, that, and the other. I can follow her to school, and I can attack her ass every day. Nothing will happen because she'll never tell her parents. I was a perfect victim for any criminal because I wasn't going to tell nobody. Why would I? I get traumatized, and then I get traumatized again for being traumatized. So God gave me the emotional strength and the intellectual capacity as a child. I was a child, not a miniature adult. I'm a child. And he gave me the adult ability to know. You don't say one word about that because you will be attacked for that. I probably would have been beaten for that if he had completed the job, if you know what I mean. Full-blown 4-letter word starts with an R, ends with an E. I would have got beat for that, probably. I would have got beat for that. Were you even a virgin when that happened? Because I bet you weren't. I bet you seduced that man. That's the only reason someone would do something like that. Which you and I know, innocent people get attacked all the time. But in her twisted head, I enticed him to do it. I pushed him to do that to me. I was a child, but children run around seducing adults, right? No, they don't. Okay? So I knew to keep my mouth shut. I would have been a criminal's dream. I would have been a criminal's dream. She's never going to tell the cops. She's never going to tell her parents. She ain't going to tell no damn body. I could do this to her every single damn day if I want to. Always wanted to do that to a kid anyway. Obviously, grown men don't normally do that, right? To little kids. Shouldn't do it to grown women either, unless it's consensual. But that's another chapter of another book. So yeah, God gave me the intellectual capacity as a child to know not to say anything. I didn't say anything when the guy from my history class he's the one who tried to yank me down into the basement. I didn't tell my teacher. I didn't tell anybody because they're going to tell her and there will be pure hell to pay for that. So I remember working at a hospital and I was helping to deliver babies, and on multiple jobs that I've had bosses tell me, they sit back and watch me. And they're like, I love how you relate to people. I love how you connect with people and customers. You just have a natural gift for that. But little do they know what I've been through. When I worked at a hospital and I worked in OB, one of the nurses, I found out through another person, med tech or another nurse, that other nurse didn't like me. And I said, what is her problem? She says, I don't know. I think she's jealous because you're happy all the time. I said, if she were to sit down and have coffee with me, I could fill her ear with all kinds of shit that I've been through. So I might seem happy all the time, and I might seem uplifted all the time, but you don't know, you can't judge a book by its cover. I could fill her ear with some shit that I've been through. Okay? You don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what somebody's been through. You don't know. And you may never know. If you are close in their close, intimate circle, you may know, maybe. But you sitting here getting mad because I'm happy all the time. You don't freaking know me. You don't know me. Maybe she should stop being miserable all the time. Why don't we try that? You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me, guys. Yeah, I was a criminal's dream. I was a criminal's dream because they would have got free crimes. There wouldn't have been penalties, going to jail. Going to court, going to jail, have to hire a lawyer, don't have money for a lawyer, but got to get a lawyer anyway. No. I was a free free victim. And only by the grace of God, nothing terrible, it didn't go any further than it did. But I would have dealt with that by myself too. And then I would have had, if it was complete, R, starts with R, ends with E. I would have had my virginity taken away. And unless you're with a loving partner when you become an adult, they ain't really trying to understand that you were attacked. Unless they're a good person. Good luck finding that. Good luck. You lost your virginity at what age? Well, I was attacked. You were attacked, huh? Okay. A loving person, which is rare, a loving person would have understood that and would have been kind, warm, and loving and receptive to that. Like, that must have been horrible. I'm never going to do anything with you or to you that you don't want done. But somebody who isn't a loving person would blame the victim. So that's the reason you're not a virgin? Because you were attacked? Really? And that's a person you fire right away, because obviously they want to traumatize you also for being traumatized. We're not signing up for that shit. We're not signing up for that. So, yeah, her birthday's in a few months. Horrible, 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 horrible parents. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Yeah, I would have been a criminal's dream. Criminal's dream. I'm never getting in trouble with the cops. She ain't never gonna say a word. Wow. So, anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what I've been through. You have no clue. You know, oh, she's too happy. Maybe you should try it. She's the same nurse that pissed me off because I was protective of my patients. And one of my patients was in labor, which is obviously a nightmare. It's a lot of pain. And she gave Demerol, some pain relief, to one of my patients, but she didn't warn her about the needle. Usually, somebody who's not an ass would say, okay, it's going to be a stick and a berm, boom, and they give you the shot, and you're done, right? She didn't warn her. This woman's in agony, and she goes, doing, you know, and the patient jumped, like, oh, because that was a surprise. She didn't tell her the needle was coming. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something right here, right now. Let me tell you something. Right here and right now. Some of the coldest, most evil people are in the medical field. What? What did she say? Some of the coldest people are in the medical field. It's perfect for narcissists because they get off on power. What happens when you're in the medical field? You need them. You need them. Whether it be an EMT, like I was, or a med tech, like I was, or a doctor, or a nurse. Your patients need you. That feeds their ego. Some of the biggest, coldest ass wipes are in the medical field. Don't assume that just because somebody's in the medical, oh, that's so nice, they care about people and want to help them get better. No, baby, not all the time. No, No, that's not always the case. Do y'all remember there was I think it was in, I want to say Kansas City, but don't quote me. There was a pharmacist who was deliberately watering down chemo meds, reducing its power. Chemotherapy medication. Or cancer medication. Maybe not chemo, but it was cancer medication. He was reducing its efficacy. There was a doctor. I can't get this darn thing open. There was a, ow, that's one way to do it. Holy crap, that hurt. There was one doctor who was deliberately putting toxins in IV bags. If you don't believe me, research it. He was on camera messing with IV bags. One guy got so ill, but he was fortunate to have survived because he received one of those tainted IV bags. Okay? There was a nurse who was doing one of the guys that worked there, and as she's doing CPR on a patient, you could see she made sure her uniform scooted up so he could see her garter and all that other crap she had on underneath, because she was seducing him. You're supposed to be trying to save this man's life. Let me tell you, some of the worst people, nurses, doctors, they've deliberately ended patients' lives. Don't sit here and think for 2 seconds that everybody who worked in the medical is a good person, because that's a bunch of bullshit. Perfect way to hurt people. And they're relying on you every time. You know, they're in a vulnerable position, which makes narcs happy, and sociopaths and psychopaths. They love it that you're weak and need them. A lot of people are totally messed up. I saw the interview. Hold on. Real life. I saw the interview with a detective that was questioning a nurse who deliberately killed patients. He said, "So what happened to Mrs. So-and-so?" She said, "Well," they said, why'd you take her life?" "Because she was getting on my nerves." What? She was getting on my nerves. He said, the cop said, "So it was inevitable that you took her life, right?" She's like, "Yeah." And said it just that casual. Like, yeah, I made up my mind I was going to turn her lights off because she was just getting on my last nerve. Some of the worst people are in church, and some of the worst people are in the medical field. You better believe it. And the wicked witch that raised me, well, that had me, she didn't raise me, she had me. She was a nurse. I wouldn't want her to be my damn nurse. Hell no. So anyway, y'all be good. And let me smell this deodorant. I know women do that. We're weird. That smells good. Oh my. Oh my. Wow, I like that. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. And have a good one. And you see how my subconscious knew that I couldn't stop thinking about her and crap I've been through because her birthday's coming up? Use that same intuition to suss out people who are bad for you. Follow what your body feels. Follow what your mood feels like when you're around them. Because your body knows before you do that something isn't right. They know that your body knows something ain't right. Pay attention to that. Don't ignore that, and don't make excuses for that. Because that don't make sense. Your body's trying to tell you something. I listened to it the last time I went out with a monster, and I seen how he treated his partner for 7 years. And there's no way in hell I was going to sign up for that. I will be a damn idiot on every level there is. Look at how they treat other people. And there's your sign, because you're going to be next. Okay? You're going to be next. And then they'll be telling everybody else how terrible you were. And so on and so forth. With everybody that comes after you and all this. I mean, come on. Life is too short to be dealing with toxic. Too damn short. Too short. Anyway. Off the topic real quick. Let your body tell you, okay? I went kayaking today. I haven't gone since last summer, I think. And It wore me out. It wore me out. Loading it, unloading my boat, loading it, unloading it. Oh God. I need to get some 4-hour energy because that will help me a lot. That will help me a lot. Because that's a tremendous amount of work, and that's before I even hit the water. Have to get it from the house into the vehicle. Ratchet it down. Get it from the vehicle, you know, back in the house. I mean, you know, it's just a lot. I felt warm, slick. I have chronic fatigue syndrome, and I have insomnia, so it's a party. Not really. But yeah, seriously, I need to do 4-hour energy because that makes my life a lot better. When I have to do all that physical work to have a good time, I have to do a lot of labor by myself. So anyway, you guys take care. Much love, and talk to you later.